Okay. All right. This is the July 27th, 2021 meeting of the Sykesville Historic District Commission at 7 o'clock. The first thing I'm going to read an opening statement. We have new people. Qualifications of the members of the commission, the staff of the commission, and any consultants used are on file with the town, are hereby made part of each and every application heard tonight. The guidelines and procedures adopted by the commission are also made part of each and every application. Each application heard tonight is considered on its own merits and is not to be considered as establishing a precedent for any other application. Historic district design guidelines have been adopted by the town of Sykesville in accordance with Article 6B, 8.06A of the Maryland Code and follow recommendations of the United States Secretary of the Interior. The Sykesville Historic District Commission follows Robert's Rules of Order, with the exception that the chairperson votes. Okay, on the agenda, the first is the June 22nd, 2021 minutes. And does anyone have any corrections, additions, whatever? No, I was good with them. So, okay, I'll make a motion that we accept the June 22nd, 2021 minutes. You have a second?
So moved.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, the minutes are now approved.
For those that didn't attend, would you have to abstain?
Yes.
Abstain.
Abstain.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Okay, the first application is 2021-10. Is Patrick and Patricia Neubauer of 7302 Conley Alley. That's in the Warfield Townhome Development.
How are you?
And- okay, where are you? Done.
We're right here.
Okay, there you go. Okay. All right, there's a lot of people here. Thanks. I'm Norm Fogg, by the way. I'm the chairman. And everybody else's names are on here, I think. So, okay. Alrighty. So you wanted to add a retractable motorized awning over your kitchen window area?
We
And-
do. Go ahead.
If you wanted, I guess usually, why don't you describe what you got in mind here and then we'll,
Well, we chose to do a retractable awning, which is just a charcoal color. It's retractable back into the cassette. It's not like your typical standard awnings when you think of plaids or the stripes or anything. One issue that we have based on where we are is we get the sun for 8 hours on the back of the deck, so it's extremely hot out there. You can't sit out there for more than 10 minutes. Us, along with several neighbors, if we put glass or plants that die with a couple of days, we've had glass break, we've had candles melt. The heat is so hot back there that we can't use the deck. That's why we were requesting for an awning to give us some shading.
Yeah, mostly usually on the weekends, just Saturdays, Sunday mornings. We work during the week, so we're not home really in the mornings.
Right.
So we'll
okay.
put it back in every time and then not leave it out. The goal is just to use it probably an hour or two on Saturday and an hour or two on Sunday mornings.
Okay.
After
The only, when it's retracted and all, is there any, I said aluminum casing, I guess, or whatever that it holds it. So is that kind of a dull varnish on it, or will it reflect as it's bright?
No, it's not going to reflect. It's almost like a beige color. So it's going to match the house. It's going to match
Okay, good.
the interior of it. It's
Okay.
not going to be anything different because we want it to blend into the house so it's not seen. And when it retracts, you see nothing. You just see that outer casing. It's not going to be very wide. The awning is going to extend out to
deck is, I think
12
12 by 15, so it would only extend 12 feet,
out there.
12 feet out, 10 feet wide. It's 10 by
How wide is the deck right there?
The deck is 12 by 15.
Oh, so it's the same.
It's a 10 by 12 awning.
Yeah, you've got the picture. So the awning is just going to go over those kitchen windows and extend to the railing.
Oh, okay.
It's not going to be anything major, and like I said, it will retract back in, but our issue, again, is just because it's so hot, we get the direct sun.
Yeah.
These four houses do. Even up in our lofts, we have problems because it's extremely hot up there as well.
Hmm.
You can't keep much anything out. You can keep furniture out, but anything else that you take out is going to come back in because of it being so hot.
Yeah.
You have any other questions we can answer, or?
I actually looked at the website because there was no photos that were provided, and the casing is an aluminum casing that's going to be attached to the house. Now, granted, the awning itself is retractable and it comes in many different colors, but you had mentioned that your color canvas is going to be brown that matches your siding, which is fine. I just have a question that the permanent casing of it is going to be attached to the house. And I don't know, being that prior to my tenure as liaison, they were very particular about the exteriors of these homes. I don't know if the casing that is going to be permanently installed is going to be within the guidelines. Norm, you being part of that, you can answer that.
I did send pictures over. I apologize. Excuse me, Norm. I'm sorry. I did send pictures over of what the awning would look like retracted, what it would look like enclosed in the casing.
Yeah, I couldn't find them in the notes we received, so.
Was that the only picture you guys had gotten?
Yeah, that was all I saw.
Yeah, there were several pictures attached to it so that you guys could see what the fabric color looked like, and then what the awning looked like enclosed.
Are you able to resend that to Carrie quickly, that we can pull that up?
I'm not that computer literate to be able to do that. Sorry, I can send it afterwards if you want me to.
You sent it to Carrie, I guess, but I don't know.
I do have a question. So one thing I want to know is, does Warfield have an HOA, and does this need approval through HOA?
I think it does, doesn't it?
They do have an HOA. We went through the HOA, and the HOA sent us to the town of Sykesville to have you guys approve it. They said it was not something they wanted to decide on.
Okay.
My previous issue, the only other issue we've had with that we turned down was, I think, a kick out on the third floor loft area on one. I don't know if it was your unit, but someone's unit along that area, and it would have obstructed. We definitely had objections to that because it was permanent. It would have obstructed view and kind of stick out and break up the elevation there. So
On the
But
loft
those-
side or the kitchen?
this was a loft. This is up higher. But,
Oh, no, we wouldn't do anything in the loft. This is just strictly for the kitchen deck.
Yeah, it was another unit. I didn't. But I know we did reject that one. But this, it's sort of a gray area. It's not, in some ways, it's not permanent. It just has the casing, which would be added onto it, and it won't protrude. I don't believe, right? It maybe more than a couple inches.
It will, yeah, only a couple inches, and we're not ones that want anything looking tacky or sticking out or any of that at all. So that's why we chose the gray to go with, to match the decking and kind of just blend in, and it's just one solid color.
You know, one thing I noticed in your sketch that you provided there was, it looks like there's not much distance between your exhaust louvers and the top of the head of your window to fit the canopy in that area. So you might want to talk to the contractor about that if they're going to try to fit it in between, because you're going to have all your exhaust blowing down on the top of the canopy.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
But then you couldn't put the awning above it because it'll trap it.
Yeah. So you only have, it looks as like maybe if that's 6-inch lap siding, you probably have about 7 inches to the bottom side of that exhaust louver. So
Yeah,
just
that's a
some,
good point, though.
just something to keep in mind. I mean,
Yeah, we'll talk to the contractor and maybe we'll lower it, or we can't lower it below the window glass, but we'll talk to him, yes.
Yeah, I guess they could mount it to the window,
Well,
the window frame above.
Right.
Yeah. We'll talk
Well,
to
that would,
the contractor.
probably would want to, that would kind of disrupt the pattern, I think. So that I wouldn't want, but you'll have to, I work that out and I'm inclined to go along with this only because it's retractable and it's not a permanent awning that hangs out and would disrupt the facade.
And again, it's not going to be, we work 5 days a week, and then like I said, it's an hour or two, maybe Saturday or Sunday. It's not going to be anything that's going to be out all the time. Any other questions we can answer, or?
Yeah, any other comments? Does anyone else feel differently?
Well, I think the comment about consulting with the contractor is a good one, because as I see the kitchen windows of the unit next door to it, if you set a precedent of awning here, you're setting it for just about all the units, because it looks like the exhaust comes out, as Chad was saying, just above the windows on all the units.
Yeah,
I'm not sure of the impact of that, but I think it ought to be considered.
let me go measure that real quick, if that's okay.
Richard, I agree with you, because even though you guys are going to do it on weekends, if we approve this, it sets a precedence. And if other people want to do it, they might have it out all summer because they're working from home. They want to sit outside. I just have a concern with that. And I'd like to see a picture of the awning itself. Because from what you have here, the two windows over the kitchen, that doesn't look like that's 10 feet. That looks like it's smaller, and the awning would be protruding larger.
Well,
Yeah.
we'll make sure that it does not get mixed up with the exhaust or anything like that. We're not going to have that. We won't have that happen. We don't want anything to happen like that at all.
they look like typical 3-foot windows. So that's probably a 6-foot, at the most 7-foot opening.
Okay.
So you're saying it's
We
10
do
feet
get-
wide or 15 wide?
10 feet wide.
10 feet wide. I mean,
Measure, I'm sorry, there's 10 inches between the top of the white window frame. There's 10 inches between that and the vents.
but you want a gap, so that air doesn't build up on top of the
Yeah,
canopy.
you know what
Oh,
I'm
of
saying,
course, of
up
course.
against them, I agree.
Mhm.
I mean, not to change gears here, but have you guys considered, just a table awning or like an umbrella? That would be.
We have tried that already, and that doesn't, because we get the direct sunlight, we have everything. And I've watched the sun patterns. We get the direct sunlight,
It's a morning sun.
morning sun
Sunrise
until about 3 or 4 o'clock, and then
Yeah.
it moves that way. You don't see it as much with the townhouses going in the other direction over there.
right.
One of the questions I would have, I didn't see an installation manual, but a lot of times when they put these canopies, they take a piece of siding off and attach it directly to the header behind it and then flash over top. I'm assuming they're just going to screw directly to the siding or through the siding and bolt it right to the header.
I believe so. I think
Okay.
so. I have to check with them, but I believe that's what they were planning. They didn't tell us they were going to remove anything.
Okay. I mean, that's one stipulation we would not allow.
No, and we agree. We wouldn't want the siding taken off either.
Right, right.
Other people have been fine. I do see umbrellas and stuff up there. It's just because they don't get the direct sunlight that we do during the
Yeah.
And your back deck is facing the historic buildings. Is that correct?
Yes,
Yeah, we're facing Springfield, yep.
So if you're going down the road, you would have the historic buildings on your right and then your house on your left, your backyard.
Correct, backyard, yep. Yep, so unless something, are there any plans for development over there? I mean, pretty much it won't be visible once it's retracted, and because we back up to trees.
Carrie, I sent you a picture of one of the awnings on the website. I don't know, my computer's a little slow today. So tell me if you get that. Maybe you can share that photo so everybody can actually see what it looks like. Did it come through yet?
It's
So
a
it
little
does-
fuzzy, but the bars, it looks like that it has going down on the deck, and the bar, it looks like it's a little catty corner. We have no bars,
Okay,
so it's just the awning itself.
it's like a scissor awning. It has scissors up underneath it. It comes out like a scissor and then retracts with the scissor. There's no bars coming down.
And this will be just strictly, the awning is strictly just a gray tweed, and the hang off in the front is gray tweed, and it's straight.
And your siding is gray.
Yeah, there's no bars at all on this one. It blends fairly nicely. We made sure when we talked with the gentleman, we wanted it to blend with the house.
You said it's motorized,
Yes.
so is it self-powered or do you have electric ran to it?
Way he told us was there's a transformer that they plug in. We have to plug into, there's an outlet outside on the floor of the deck. And we plug it into a transformer and that operates it. I believe that's how it works.
Okay,
There's no direct electrical hook up to the house.
okay. So did we find a picture of the casing? I mean, when it's retracted?
If you give me a minute, I'm on their website now. I can find one.
Yeah, I mean, Carrie, can you just go to their website and pull it up? I think our biggest concern is the look of the canopy itself when it's retracted.
yeah,
Yeah, we asked them not to have anything out showing that it's fully retractable into the casing. You're not going to see the
Mhm.
awning itself.
This one, this one.
The casing is like a beige.
Yeah.
Casing, yeah. That is not it. The balance will be inside the casing. You won't see any of it.
Okay.
I think the one that you're bringing up is, I think, just their bottom line awning. Their standard awning that they usually install.
Well, Norm, I, regardless of what it looks like, I think we just put a stipulation that there's no shine or reflective surfaces of the outside casing that houses the canopy itself. If
Agreed.
that's
Yeah,
what we decide.
We'll make sure of that. And we don't want that either.
No.
Yeah.
I mean, I personally think that this is a better alternative to tables with beach umbrellas everywhere, but that's me. I mean, that's not permanent though, but
That's the picture I had sent, but I don't think it's that big of a,
I was wondering, that really sticks out.
but that's a bigger awning as well.
Yeah, that's probably 15 feet or more.
But at least you get the idea of the casing, that it's fully encased and you won't see it.
Harry, I sent you another email with another version of it, so I'm not sure which one, if it's the one that you just pulled up or if it's this other one. Where the inset is showing the casing. And this doesn't have the bars. This is just the shade itself.
I think that's very similar.
But the balance is not going to be out.
And show that.
Yeah, the balance is not going to be out. We didn't want to see any of the awning hanging out at all.
So the cloth part of it's retracted all the way into the casing.
Correct.
But is this what the casing looks like?
I'm not sure if it is.
I think it is. I think it is.
I'll have to ask. It could be. It could be.
If after we can call it, and send us the exact picture of what it looks like if you like.
Yeah, I think seeing a picture of the casing would be helpful because we have to assume that everybody on that row is probably going to get the same thing if they see something that shades the deck like that. So you're right, it sets a precedent that we approve one, then you would assume that we would approve any of the additional ones. So I think we need to think about scale and what the casing looks like. So if we're saying that a 10-foot one is good, is a 15-foot one good? Because it doesn't cover the whole width of the deck. So as a committee, I think we need to consider those things.
Yeah, I agree.
But actually seeing the actual casing would be very helpful.
Yeah, what would be helpful, having a section of the actual housing itself, almost like a cut sheet of the housing, the front elevation of it, and also a cut section to see how tall it is, how wide it protrudes.
Okay. We can ask the contractor for that.
Mm-hmm.
At this point, it wouldn't be just your house that we're approving it for. So that's why we want to see.
No, it's understandable. Understandable. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, there's what, 5 groups of, I think at least 5 groups of these units across that section of Conley. So that could be really altering of the facades.
Yeah, I'm not sure if we limit the width of it to match the window width or what stipulation we put on that, because, you know, if we approve one that's wider than the windows that we're talking about now, in the future, somebody may say, I want one across my entire unit. And then, you know, you're gonna have a randomness then in patterns with everybody coming back saying, well, I only want a small one over this window and a double over this window. So
Yeah, I agree. I think that's the whole point is if we are approving one, we kind of have to decide the dimensions,
Is acceptable.
the colors that it can be, the material it can be made out of, because it would be much easier than having to decide and justify one at a time.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah.
Who should we send all this additional information to?
You can send it to the same email you used before
Okay,
at sykesville.net.
okay. We're gonna get information from the contractor for you guys.
Yeah, if he has a
With
picture
the
of the
four of
fa-
us, we all have grills on one side, so that's why it's not the whole deck.
yeah. If we can get a picture of the fabric material that's being utilized, like I said, a section of the housing, and maybe like an elevation of the front of the housing, and then a color picture of what the actual housing is going to look like, then we'd be better to, make a ruling on this.
Okay. Can do that. I'm sorry you guys didn't get the other pictures that I sent along with it.
Okay.
And then do you guys make a ruling from there via the email, or is there another?
No, we have to meet again, and unfortunately, it'll be the end of August.
Okay,
So it looks like, early fall if it gets approved, it'll be early fall
okay.
for installation. Yeah.
Hey, Norm, I
Yeah.
know in the past that we've had like a special meeting.
Well, we have. I mean, I don't, I'm fine with it if everybody else is, but
Yeah, I don't want to prolong these people not, having
yeah, I
solutions
know
to
it's
their
a long
issues.
summer here.
And it's been very hot, so I mean, I'd be
Right.
up for a special meeting.
Okay. I
We
Appreciate
appreciate
that.
it.
can do that.
Thank you. Well, we'll make sure we get it to you guys hopefully in the next couple of days. We'll get in touch with the contractor and I'll email it over.
And once we
Okay,
get your
thanks.
email, I'll coordinate with the commission here to figure out a date after we receive your email when they can
Yeah.
meet for a special meeting.
And we have the information that we need.
Mhm.
Thank you.
Sounds good. We appreciate
Right.
it. Thank you.
Okay, so we'll postpone the decision on this application till then.
Stay
Thank you.
cool.
Yeah.
Thank you. You too.
Okay, thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
We'll see you. Okay. I think that was a good resolution. Okay, the next agenda item is 2021-11, and that's the Sykesville Station Restaurant owned by the town of Sykesville, operated by Alan Bell, and it's 7618 Main Street. And I guess the proposal is to put a concrete pad down for 127 square feet, and you had a drawing of it, and that was for your smoking units. Is that? I'll let you describe what you have in mind here. Oops. I think are you muted, Alan? Clown? Oh, you're muted. So you want to phone in? It's like charades.
Hey, Alan, it looks like that your audio is connecting. I don't know if there's an issue with connectivity. Gary, do you understand sign language?
I don't know. Do you have a drop down bar with the mute button on it?
Hey, Alan, I just sent you a chat. Do you want to try typing in there instead of trying to sign at us? It would be new for me too. Oh, he called in. Okay, so try unmuting from that phone, then press *6 on your phone to unmute that.
Oh, yay.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, hey,
Okay. I saw my number up there on the screen. I'm like, that one right there. Okay. All right. So you want a description of what we're looking to do, correct?
Yeah, like,
Okay. What our hope is to put a small concrete pad at the back of the restaurant. It's shown on the photo that I submitted. What we need to do, and also to put a fence around it to enclose it. Two purposes. Number one is when we first got started, we were smoking briskets and wings and other things in the back. And shortly after we were open, the health department decided that they didn't like our arrangement. So they asked us to stop. And we've coordinated this project with them to make sure that it would comply with what they need. And they said that it would. The other purpose is actually to provide some security onto the backside of this of the restaurant. As of right now, in the middle of the night, people can just walk straight up onto the platform. So with this area cemented and put a fence around it, the exact same type of fence that's around the trash corral right now, which matches this the side of the building, the back part of that kitchen. You would have a lock on it at night, so you wouldn't be able to. People would not be able to just walk into the backside and up onto the platform of the train station.
the equipment is going to be permanently installed there?
Well, it's a cement pad. It's not going to be attached to anything. It can be busted up and hauled away
Oh,
at
not
some
that.
point.
I meant the smoking units that go on the pad.
Oh yeah, it's a commercial smoker unit that would just be wheeled in on casters and positioned there.
Okay, I was just thinking of security for that.
Well, we would lock the gates of the enclosure.
Harry, can you bring up the plan that shows it?
Deanne, I want to chime in here because I actually saw the location. And between where the dumpsters are and the kitchen, it's actually going to be hidden. You can't see it from the parking lot. So it's going to be between the fence and I'm thinking with between the fence and this protrusion here. Is that correct, Deanne?
Yep. From the aspect of this particular photograph, it would be about 5 steps ahead. There's a 5-gallon bucket next to the air conditioning unit. So it would come out from there. It would come out 7 feet from that point and then across 16 feet to the wrought iron gate that you can, fencing that you can see up against the property line. And then around the corner, it would just extend 2 feet.
So from the bucket straight to the fence.
Correct. Yes. And then out 7 feet from that point towards the tree. It would not come out as far as the tree on the right.
And what is the nature of the fencing that will be lockable?
It's
I'm not
sure.
trash area, so.
If you're familiar with the building over here, there's some fencing that we installed when we opened a year ago around the trash corral, and we would do the exact same construction as that to match that, and it's the same color as the side of the building there, so it would just blend in. And just as a reminder, this side of the building is not any part of the historic portion of the building.
Is that the added on kitchen?
Correct.
Okay. What about the Frisbee golf tee?
We're going to unfortunately have to move that. The chef's not going to be too pleased with that.
I'm disappointed. What is the material that the current fence is made of?
It's wooden.
The wooden fence, okay.
And how tall?
I beg your pardon?
And how tall? How
6 feet.
Okay.
And I forget, it's a solid fence?
Correct.
Yeah.
Is there any setback for your property line? I see it goes all the way to the end, to the edge on your drawing.
Yeah, their setback is on the other side of the wrought iron gate fencing there.
Okay,
That's our property line, and this would be a couple of inches. This side of it. CSX has the property just on the other side of that fence, the black wrought iron fence.
Is there any implications of having the fire department issue with that smoker? Is it wood burned?
It's pelletized.
Is the
We're not
health
going to use
department,
log.
does
I
the
beg your
health
pardon?
department or fire department have any issues with that being so close proximity to the building being wood?
No, this is this was their recommendation. I suspect that was what their issue was prior.
Yeah, Alan, prior you requested that the smoker be on the back deck, and the health department said that that wasn't feasible.
Right. It actually sat up on the platform next to the kitchen, and it passed their initial muster. It was actually, they came out to do an inspection of COVID spacing between our tables, and they walked by and they looked at it, and that was when it became an issue for them. So we haven't smoked anything since that day.
Well, that one would have been undercover, under the roof.
It's just outside of the roof. It was not undercover. But,
It might have been, I used to be in the health business. It might have been public access to it too, or
Yeah, quite possibly.
I suspect that might be a large part of it. Okay, any other questions?
It seemed to me that from the standpoint of the Historic Commission, since the kitchen is an add-on anyway, and it's not visible from the street, that
Yeah, it's in a secluded part of that parking lot.
in my mind is a major objection.
So you do have an objection or you don't? I didn't quite catch.
My point is I don't really have any objections.
Oh, okay, thanks. So I thought you meant, but I wasn't sure. Okay. Does anyone else have any concerns? Want to go back to the gallery then, Carrie? There we go. So I think we'll, I would say let's make a motion to accept this. Right. Okay, I'll move that we accept the application of 2021-11 at the Sykesville Station Restaurant, 7618 Main Street, to install a 127 square foot concrete pad with 6 foot high wood fencing and a gate to house a smoking operation, as it seems to be in compliance with page 55 fencing in our guidelines.
I would say add to that, Norm, the color needs to match the existing structure of the building.
Thank you. Yeah. Okay, we'll add that in too, Carrie. All right.
I second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Good to go with it. PowerPoint.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks, Pierre.
Have you spoken?
Thank you.
All right, that was the last agenda item. I have no other things to add to our meeting. Carrie,
Norm,
is
I
there
have
anything?
one quick thing to add. Oh gosh, the church on
Oh, the
Sandusky
tree?
Road. Yes.
Yeah.
St. Joseph's Church. Is that what it
Yes.
is?
Yes,
So they took a dead tree down that was in danger of falling on power lines and the road there. It was actually right next to, off of Miller Avenue. They have a little entrance and it was right at the corner of the entrance and Miller Avenue. And it was completely dead. So they took that down and they're going to let me know if they have any plans of replacing any shrubbery there. But since it was a danger, they didn't want to wait too long.
yeah. Was the rest of the commission informed of that too, or just me?
Just now.
Okay. Well, I looked at it and it was just barely, I think it was debatable whether it was actually 12 inches in diameter.
Yeah, it was very
So-
close if it
And
was.
it was dead. So we kind of expedited that and decided they didn't need to apply here. So anyway, that's, I didn't, too late now, but I don't think anyone would have an objection to that. So, okay. I don't know about the neon sign. I think still exists. I got foliage in front of my house, so I can't tell anymore. So I used to be able to see it from my front porch, but so I know Joe was going to work with them on that.
At Pottery and Art,
Yeah,
I did not get an update from him about that today, so I will
Yeah.
let him know that you think it's
I
still
mean,
up
this-
and working.
again, in the summer, it doesn't seem to pose much of an impact on the historic district, but I know we're going to have it removed at some point soon.
Mhm.
Yeah. Anyone else have any concerns, violations? I have, so we have a guest. Okay. Did you have a public comment?
Yes, I have a public comment. I'm Eloise Stinchcomb and I live at 7331 Springfield Avenue. We have been talking with roofers to get our roof redone. And I said to my husband the other day, uh-oh, do we need to go to the Historic District Commission to get a roof redone?
Yes.
So to play it on the safe side, I picked up an application. I've totally filled it out and I noticed in the cover letter that I believe you would like to meet a week before the deadline to turn it in, which would be next Tuesday, I think, by next Tuesday.
No, we could, at this point, it'll be August 20th, I think, or something
Well,
thereabouts.
but it has to be turned in, correct me if I'm wrong, Carrie, has to be turned in
2
by
weeks
4 p.m. on the
before-
second Tuesday of the month, and that
Yeah.
would be the 10th, and so next
Okay.
Tuesday would be the week before. So I have the application all done. I have all my supporting documentation here. But just, a couple of questions. And since you recommend that we talk with you, I thought I'm just going to join the meeting because I've never done a professional commission meeting on Zoom before. So,
So
Is
is this
that
going to be
possible?
is this
Pardon?
going to be a shingle roof or,
It will be a shingle roof, and I don't know if you want me to go into any detail. As you know, architectural shingles are now
okay,
the way to go. They last so
Right.
much longer. The second roofing estimate that I got, he even did the difference in cost for the old flat shingle type, which he said he could get hold of. But he showed me samples and, how much better, longer protection. I mean, it goes from 20 to 30 years to 30 to 50 years.
yeah, those
For
are
the
the shingles we
architectural.
approved, so,
And then the color issue, he showed me the different colors. The green, I'm not too impressed with. That's what's on here. But in 1886, when the house was built, who knows? It could have been wood shingles, which would probably not have been green unless they got covered with moss. So I didn't know, about the whole color issue. They recommend more of a gray. And I think some of the other people who have old homes have done more of a gray. So I just, we want to comply. The Historic District Commission helped us get a in-law addition approved when we desperately needed it. And I came back again for a little shed and back. And so now it's time for a roof, very definitely.
well, it sounds like you've got the basics down here, so anybody else want to chime in or?
Ms. Stitchcomb, if you submit the application with a picture of the color of the roof that you want to do with the architectural, like a sampling of it, if
Mhm.
we're going to have a special meeting for the awning, then maybe we can include yours because we can't approve it tonight. It
Oh, I
has
know
to
you
be-
can't.
Yeah, okay,
Yes, I understand.
yeah,
Yes.
so instead of, I don't know what the rest of the commission is feeling with that. Maybe we can include yours with our special meeting. If
Okay.
we have the documents in advance.
Okay, so I could just go ahead and drop the packet off tomorrow and then you can let me know. I have sent pictures and things to be done in Zoom meetings, for people to share it. So I could probably get through that whenever you needed to. I'm retired, so, I usually can help with that. So I'll just drop it off tomorrow. Now, I'm the one that's going to do all this, but my husband's a co-owner. Should he sign as well, or is just one of us signing enough?
Just one of you is fine.
Okay, so I'll do it that way. And is it, let's see, there's two places to check. I can either be a minor alteration or repair, or I can be an other. That was kind of my other question.
I think it would fall under minor alteration or repair.
Are you? Okay.
Yeah,
So I'll
so I'd
list
probably
it
do
under
it.
there.
Are they
Okay.
gonna,
Close enough.
Ms. Stitchcomb, are they gonna rip off your existing roof or are they gonna just lay the second layer on top?
I don't think anyone keeps any layers on anymore.
Okay,
So, and that's in their proposals. And the one other question or statement I would add, I made copies of all the colors that they have. I know one roofer especially recommended, a certain shade. And I think that's the roofer that also said he could get hold of the green architectural if you really want it to stay green. In actuality, I wasn't as impressed with that color.
I think that's your choice, as long as it's kind of compatible with the neighborhood and your own,
Okay,
in the house.
okay. So, I'd go with roofers' recommendations because they do a lot more of these than I do.
Yeah.
All right, so I'll drop it off tomorrow and you just can
We'll
always
let
call
you
me on
know.
my cell. Thank you very much.
All right,
I
thank you for
appreciate
coming
it.
in.
Okay,
You're welcome.
bye-bye.
Okay, we'll see you. All right, any other comments, questions, observations?
Richard, I know that you had a question on the rehab building that Fred Gossage is doing on Main Street.
Or the plastic or
Yeah.
plexiglass?
I spoke with him. They're actually going to be regular windows. It's not going to be plastic or plexiglass. It's going to be glass.
Okay,
It's gonna be glass.
Well, I mean, a regular window. It's not going to be plexiglass or plastic. Whatever windows are made of.
Okay.
yeah. Yeah, you were concerned about it being permanent. It wasn't, it's not going to be.
No, that was just a temporary hold so nobody would get into the building.
Yeah. Okay. All right, anything else? Okay, I'll move to adjourn the meeting. Do I have a second?
Second.
In favor?
Aye.
Okay. All right, thanks again.